Um, Always check your statements. So for credit cards and for your debit account, your checking account, it's very, very important to make sure that you always check your statements. I'll go back to something which Nate mentioned about businesses and taking care of your personal finances like they are a business. So both Henry, who is the president of Nexim, and myself have worked as accountants. And the funny thing is that the principles which Nate has spoken to you about are the same principles which these multinational companies all employ people like Henry and myself to do those same things. So the principles which we learn at these early stages of our life, they actually carry on all the way up the corporate ladder. And one of those things is making sure you know what making sure you're checking your transactions, making sure that you know what's in your account, making sure that you know what your expenditures are, and making sure you know what your incomings are as well. And we went over some of these in the budgeting section from last week, but I strongly encourage everybody, when you have your checking account, when you have your savings account, when you have your credit account, um, checking your statements is very, very important. Is it because the banks might make an error? Potentially, although it's very rare. Uh, I'll give you a real example, actually, of why I always check mine. And this might be something which everybody can relate to. So I'm big on Netflix. I have a Netflix subscription, and money comes out of my account automatically every month. I also signed up for another service, which is a competitor to Netflix, and I wasn't aware that after my initial trial, it would be charged on my account. Now, I'd cancelled it, but it was still being charged. Now, I hadn't checked my account for 2 months, 3 months. I hadn't even noticed it. The fourth month, I wondered, what is this charge going on here? And by that point, it was very, very difficult for the bank to kind of reimburse me for the 3 months, which they'd already charged me, because I hadn't been checking my account statements. So sometimes we sign up for things. Sometimes there are things which come into our account which shouldn't necessarily be there. So that's one practical reason why we should always check our accounts and make sure that we're, again, treating our bank accounts, treating our personal finances like our own personal mini business, if you will.